It's the college football world's favorite big cousin, and my show hotter than the Thanksgiving Day oven, Tater too what? Too real. And today, guys, I want to tell you why I believe the Michigan Wolverines is going to walk into Norman, Oklahoma and beat the Oklahoma Sooners. Yeah, you heard it. The Michigan Wolverines will beat the Oklahoma Sooners. Stay tuned. As your favorite big cousin, Tater Too Real, was sitting back, relaxing, enjoying a cold bowl of Cinnamon Toast Crunch, I was going back and forth between Oklahoma and Michigan. On one hand, I was sitting there thinking, this is an easy win for Oklahoma. Quarterback John Mateer is more experienced than Bryce Underwood. Bryce Underwood is a true freshman quarterback for the University of Michigan. He had a strong game one, passed for 251 yards, 21 of 31 completions. Mateer had 392 yards passing. Also, he ran the ball for 24 yards. So I was thinking about that, right? This Oklahoma offense is very, very explosive. And they showed that week one versus Illinois State, which is an FCS school. On the day, they had 103 yards rushing as a team versus an FCS school. And a lot of people are going to say, but it's week one, blah, 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 blah. But guys, that is very, very telling. Jaden Ott was one of the best running backs in the transfer portal. He had one carry for -3 yards. And as a team, I repeat, they rushed for 103 yards versus an FCS school. Also, Oklahoma turned the ball over twice versus an FCS school. And yeah, the receivers had a great day. I mean, you had guys like Keontez Lewis, who had 9 catches for 119 yards and 2 touchdowns. You had Jaron Knack, 5 for 90. Dalen Burke, 7 for 88 in a touchdown. So the receiving core definitely had a great day. But let's put everything in perspective. Right here, right now, if Illinois State, the team that Oklahoma just played in week one, were to play the team Michigan played in New Mexico would beat them by at least 2 touchdowns, guys. So if you're looking at the score 34-17, which Michigan beat New Mexico by, you're not really looking at the whole story. I'm an eye test type of guy, right? So when I was watching Bryce Underwood play, if I did not know he was a true freshman, there's no way in hell I would have known he was a true freshman. He played with such composure, such accuracy, such demand of this offense, guys. He is by far the most talented quarterback in the history of the University of Michigan. I'm not saying he's the best. I'm not a fool. I know they had Tom Brady. But if you're basing it just off college quarterbacks, he is the best quarterback. He's the most talented quarterback, in the history of the university. And one thing that was very, very evident in the game with Michigan and New Mexico was this rushing attack. My God. This is one of the best rushing attacks in all of college football, headlined by Alabama transfer Justice Hayes, who had 15 carries for 159 yards rushing and 3 rushing touchdowns. Jordan Marshall didn't really have a strong game on the ground, but again, he is still a guy you have to account for. He had his breakout game last year as a true freshman versus Alabama, which is another reason why I am very, very confident that Michigan will win this game. For all the accolades, for all the talent John Mateer has, this Michigan defense just played Alabama last year in the bowl game at the end of the season. And they did a number on Jalen Milroe. So unless you're telling me right here, right now, that John Mateer is better than Jalen Milroe, you got me. But I don't think so. John Mateer is coming from Washington State. He did not play the best competition while he was at Washington State. Let's just be honest. So this is going to be by far the best defense John Mateer has ever faced in his college career. And one thing I do know about having a strong running attack, it travels. And it is not like Michigan is solely dependent on the run. They have a good group of receivers, evident by game one. Marlon Klein had 6 receptions for 93 yards and a touchdown. And that's not including Channing Goodwin. That's not including Donovan McClory, so forth and so on. This is a good group of receivers for the University of Michigan. They have a quarterback who has a rocket for an arm, and he can sling the ball all over the field with accuracy. So there's numerous reasons why I believe Michigan will win this football game. They're going to be able to run the football, control the clock, pick up numerous first downs, and kind of bleed the clock, which will give Oklahoma even less possessions on offense. Because like I mentioned earlier in this video, Oklahoma only rushed for 103 yards versus an FCS school, and the quarterback had 24 of those rushing yards. So that is not a good sign going up against a Michigan defense who was very, very stout. Damon Payne, Troy Bowles, Curtis Mason, Ernest Hausman, Jair Hill, so forth and so on. So I really honestly believe that this Michigan defense, even without Jayshon Branham for the first half, is going to be strong enough to keep Oklahoma at bay, and they're going to be good enough to limit this passing attack. The only way Oklahoma will have any success of winning this game or any chance of winning this game is if they can run the football. But based off week 1, it's going to be a tough task for them to move the football on the ground versus this Michigan team. And yes, I know it. You're asking an awful lot of Bryce Underwood to come into Norman, Oklahoma and beat a top 20 team in the University of Oklahoma. And don't get it twisted. This is a must-win for head coach Brent Venables. I mean, if the Oklahoma fan base want to have any hope and any belief in their head coach Brent Venables, this is a must-win football game. You cannot look good about the rest of the season if you lose versus a non-conference team in Michigan. This is not an SEC opponent, so you still got the rest of that SEC schedule coming up. So this is a game you just gotta have if you're the University of Oklahoma. But in my heart of hearts, the University of Michigan is going to be able to control the clock, control the ball, limit John Mateer and that offense from getting the ball, by running the football. You guys let me know what you think. I'm taking the Michigan Wolverines 24-17. This is your favorite big cousin, Tater 2 what? Too real. Holla.